what is market structure? What is market structure? How to identify it to find the direction, how to look at it. So market structure is divided into two. First of all, we have breaks of plateau. We have breaks of plateau, right? Um, we have break of plateaus. Um, and secondly, we have trends. Those are the two market structure that we need to know to identify the direction of the market. First of all, let us start with break of roof without Ishimoku. Um, let us say that I don't have Ishimoku, right? And then what is a break of roof? A break of roof is, you remember when I told you that this is the Ishimoku. I want to change the color. This is the Ishimoku mountain, right? And here they were the god eye at this level, right? This is the god mountain. That's the god eye were Ishimoku. So we have here one client house, and then the second client house at this level, and then the third client house at this level, right? Those are their roof. So this is the first roof level, and then the second roof level. What do we realize here is that the second roof, when we built this house, the second roof just broke the level of the first roof. And then the third roof here broke the level, this level, horizontal level of the second roof. And by just seeing those roofs going up and up, breaking their levels, we just understand that this market is this roof, these houses are in a mountain and going to the upside, right? That's where that's how we that's what we understand when we see this. So it's the same thing with this chart without any Ishimoku line, right? We have here, for example, this one. The top of the wick of this uptrend is the roof, right? And then we have like this, the first house, right? And then the second house starts from this point till this top. And then this is the second top, right? This was the first, that was the second. So we have something like this. So the second roof just broke the first one. And then this is what we have. So after we have the third one, the top of the wick here, that wick top. Okay, let us stop at the top, third one. Just by seeing this, what can we realize that those houses have are going to the upside, right? And then that's how we can then determine that this is an uptrend. Just looking at the break of roof, right? That's what the second roof just broke the first one. The third roof just broke the second one. So that's how we identify the trend. So after that, um, we can actually have also the fact that after a certain time, you see that this market just went down like this, right? Went below, went down. But if you realize at this level, we had a point where the third roof started. The third roof started at this point exactly. And then when the candle went back below that point, those are the end of the roof of the second this point, right? That then we have a change in in trend because now the roof are not going to the upside now. They are breaking actually their bottomest level. So now we can say that we are in a downtrend. Let me look at another example so I can explain to you this very well. Let us look, for example, at this side, right? We had from this point, the first roof, right? Top at this point, and then we have here the second roof point, right? And then there we have the third one, the third roof point. So if we take a line from this bottom of the second point, right? The bottommost point of the second roof, this is it. And then we go with the line like this. We realize that the second roof just end at this at this level of the base of the base of his base, right? But when he passes, when the roof passes below like this, that is no more an uptrend. Now we start having, if this one was an uptrend from the left here, from here from breaking this bottomest level of the third roof, we are now going to the downside, and start creating other roofs, right? So now I will not call it this one a roof, right? We are not creating a roof. It's like this left side was like this. This was the first roof, then the second roof, then the third roof. But when it start going below this point level, it's like we are breaking the, how do they call it? The basement, right? The basement, or we are breaking the basement, or the well, right? It's like this was the basement of this third roof, right? Oh, no, this was the basement of the second roof here at this level. We broke that basement because it's the basement of the second roof that create the third roof, right? Now, when we go below and then we create the third roof basement now is below the second one. It means that we are changing the direction, the direction side of the market, right? And then I cannot be calling those basement like roof, because roof are mostly up to the upside. So I'll call this basement number three, basement number two, because when the basement are going lower and lower, that's when you know that you are in a downtrend, right? And when the roof are going up and up, that's when you know that you are in an uptrend, right? And this one looks exactly like a mountain, isn't it? So when we start creating basement to the downside, right, we know that this is now a downtrend. We are moving to the downside, right? Because this is another basement. This basement is broken by this other basement, because now we have something like this, right? And then this basement is broken by the other this last basement. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 basement, and those basement are going down to down further down. And you can actually call it also a well, right? Where we carry water, right? If we fill all of the basement, this is the basement number 4. All of the well, this is a well number 4. If we have some like separation like that, wells, right? Separation in the middle like this. And then you fill all of them. The well number 4 will have more water, right? Because it's deeper. That's when you know that you are going to the downside. So that's how you basically read the market without the chart, um, without the Ishimoku. So that's the break of roof theory. So after that, we have the break of plateau. The break of plateau with Ishimoku is simply this, right? You just turn on Ishimoku, and then break of plateau is simply this. You have first of all a plateau here, and then you have another one. That's an inclination now. Then you have a plateau here, and then you have an inclination to the upside, and then you have a plateau. Those are just stairs type of thing, right? Those are just stairs, like simple stairs like this, where people place your feet at this level, right? So those are just the plateau that I'm talking about, the break of plateau, because where you place your feet, yeah, the second time when you place your feet, it will be to the upside. So that shows an uptrend. That's all for the break of plateau. So So now we have now when we have a break of plateau, there is something that we call, when do you know that the trend is changing, has changed for real, right? With the break of plateau, when do you know? So if we take this example, we know that the trend has changed when the previous last plateau has been broken to the upside. And that is when I talk about now the change of plateau. When we have a change of plateau, is that we have, first of all, plateau that are going to the downside, like a staircase that's going to the down, that's this descending, and then we have another one that is climbing, that is going to the upside. So let me look at, because we need to confirm, because when a staircase like this is go to the downside, that what does that mean? That means that we are in a downtrend, right? We are in a downtrend. But when do you know that we start going to the uptrend, in the uptrend? When do you know? When do you know that we start going to the uptrend, the upside? Those are the plateau, right? And this will be, this below here will be the last plateau. This is the last plateau to the downside, right? So now, what is the change of plateau? COP, the change of plateau. The change of plateau is simply the fact that from this point, from this last plateau down here, right, we have an inclination to the upside, and then we have another plateau, but this plateau is higher than this one. So if you take the plateau that I'm talking about is higher, you see the difference, right? So now after that, we have a change of plateau. When you have a change of plateau, it doesn't mean that the change of plateau start here. Does it mean that the trend is confirmed to the upside now? No, it doesn't mean. So when will the trend will be confirmed to the upside, right? Because those plateau is also to understand when does the trend change the side. So the trend will change the side when we will break this level of the previous plateau at this level. The previous plateau of the downtrend, when you will break it with SSB, when SSB will go to the upside. So we are going to the upside like this, going to the upside, going to the upside. The plateau are going to the upside, and then the inclination of SSB are also going to the upside. But at this level now, when we arrive just right here, we break this level. That's the previous last plateau to the downtrend. This downtrend, right, had a plateau here, a plateau here, a plateau here, and the last plateau is this one. But the previous last is this one. When you just break the previous last plateau to the upside, then you have a confirmed uptrend. So there is a difference between confirmed uptrend, right, and just a correction. This one was a correction of for the moment, a correction to the upside. A correction to the upside is also an uptrend. But when we talk about confirmed uptrend, we are just mostly saying that, okay, from this level, this price will just go up if we break this. So from this correction, right, was just this part of the chart, right? But now, arrive at this level, and then we started we had all of this uptrend that is, I think somewhere here. Let me not think it, but compute it. From this point, 25 candle behind. Yes. So you can realize that all of this was the confirmed uptrend, right? So the correction was a little bit deeper, right? So what I try to mean is that, right, you need just to have a point where you confirm that the uptrend will start from now and just go to the upside. And it is at this point, right? So that's how you look at change of plateau. So that was for break of plateaus, right? Break of plateaus. That's how you identify market structure. And Next thing is to have to identify market structure. Another market structure is trend now. A trend is also a market structure, right? So we have two types of trend: the long-term trend with SSB and the short-term trend with June. The long-term trend, the long-term trend is we take it with SSB, right? Why? SSB is this black line. This SSB, right? The black line. It is 52 period, and Kijun is Kijun. This one, this green line, right, is 26 period. If you see very well, when you take the monthly graph, if each one of these candles are one month, that will be 52 month. 52 month is 4 years, right? 4 years. And 26 months is 2 years, right? 2 years. So if you are since you are an investor, not if you are an investor, if you are, when you are already here, you are already an investor. Investors tend to take more consideration, more weight for companies who made more years in the field with growing revenue, growing profit. If within your four first year of your company, your existence of your company, you are just in a positive like 20% net profit. Let us say profit, right? But the last 2 years, you were a little bit down by -1%. The investor will still invest in you because you have been showing that you can handle long-term situation, long-term profit. You can have a long-term profit because when you invest, you just want your money to grow. It's not because the last 2 years you just had like -1% that we will say that you are not a, a good business, right? You may have a problem of communication, an environmental problem, some societal issue, or some unpredictable event that can make you reduce your income for the last 2 years, right? But it's like Real Madrid, Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. Those teams are very good teams, right? It's not because when Messi goes, the Barcelona starts struggling a bit for 1-2 years that you will say that Barcelona is dead. It's not because Ronaldo, when he leaves Real Madrid and Real starts struggling for 1-2 years that we will say that Real is dead. Those are still good teams. Those are good teams. They have proved their craft since more than 50 years, right? That they are very good in terms of player management, team, play style, and all. It's not because during those 50 years you have like 1 or 2 years where they don't perform very well that you throw them in the trash, in the garbage can. No. That's why we investors tend to look at long term because SSB is not a startup, right? It's more of a long term things. In the long term, you have been seeing a lot of things. You have been seeing behavior. You have been seeing some trend passing, ending, another one entering. So you have some like system in place that you can handle. That's why between the long term trend and the short term trend, investor will tend to choose the long term trend to make to find their direction. What do I mean by finding their direction? Do I invest or not? I invest or not based on what SSB is telling me. So when you are an investor, you look at SSB, the black line is telling you. If you see SSB just growing like this since, it means that that's a good investment. Just look at the right time to invest again. So if you have to choose between SSB and Kijun, the one that has more weight is SSB for sure. In terms of trend, the trend of the long-term trend is the most important. So now let us look at deep trend, the difference between deep trend. What is the deep trend, right? Now the deep trend is just the last inclination. As I said, previous SSB last inclination. For example, this is SSB, right? So here is the G trend. Yeah, this G trend is to the upside because it is inclined to the upside. So the G trend of this one is to the upside, right? So I want to make you a difference. It's not in the mouth of the cloud when I take the G trend. This is the mouth of the cloud, right? This is the mouth because the cloud has a mouth like this. This is the mouth. The top lips, that is the red lips, and the bottom lips, that is the black lips. But I'm not taking the deep trend at the mouth of the cloud. I'm taking just right before the mouth of the cloud, the last inclination before the mouth of the cloud. So let us look at another one so that I can do another example. So okay, this one, what is the deep trend here? The deep trend is this one, right? To the upside. This is an inclination to the upside. Notice that the deep trend is not taken by the mouth of the cloud here. It is taken before the mouth of the cloud. What is the last inclination? The last inclination is okay. Let me take this example too. What is the deep trend here? The deep trend is this one, uptrend, right? I didn't pick it well. I don't want to confuse you. I want to make it clear so that you get the point very fast. So this is the last before the mouth of the cloud. This is the inclination, uptrend, right? So this is the mouth of the cloud. This one, I just take when you take this rectangle, you will see that it blocks some part where on the joint. So the deep trend is just the mouth of the cloud is this one. Before that mouth of the cloud, what is the last inclination? This is the last inclination, uptrend. So as that's how I separate it. This is the last inclination uptrend. That's the one that I take for deep trend. It's just the inclination. Deep trend is already the last inclination. It shows you that the last move that the volume and invested in this market was to the upside. Can I do another one? Okay, for example, let's all take this one. SSB here. What is the deep trend here? This is the last inclination. This small inclination. There is a small inclination here. If you are very aware, you will see. This is right. That's the deep trend. So this is the mouth of the cloud here. That's not the one that I take. After this mouth of the cloud, there is another part. There's another part here. But this part is before the mouth of the cloud. Yes, it's before the mouth of the cloud, but it's a plateau, so I don't take it for deep trend. For deep trend, I'll take the last inclination before the mouth of the cloud. So since I have those three, this is the mouth of the cloud, and this is before the mouth of the cloud, right? But it's a plateau, so I don't take it. So I'm looking at the last inclination. The last inclination is down the downside, so the deep trend here is to the downside. The deep trend, right? So that's what made all of those red candles going to the downside, right? So that's how I identify the deep trend. So to just know the global market structure, the global market where the money are going. So after that, that's why I said that okay, you see, there are some deep trend where the mouth is not a plateau like this daily. The mouth is not a plateau. For example, this mouth is what an inclination, right? But it's not because the mouth is an inclination that the deep trend is an inclination. This is the mouth of is an inclination, but that's not the mouth that I'm looking at. I'm saying, as I just said, before the mouth, right? Before the mouth, I'll just take another rectangle here. This is the deep trend, the last inclination before the mouth. So now let's look at actual trend, right? Now actual trend is then now the mouth of the cloud. There is a actual trend is now the mouth of the cloud. For example, this one, what is the actual trend of this one? It's just the mouth. This is the mouth of the SSB. Take SSB. It's an uptrend. You see that how it is inclined to the upside. If you take a rectangle like this, it's inclined, right? So let us look at the actual trend of this. What's the actual trend here? What's the actual trend? The actual trend here is what? since that is the mouth of the cloud and it's a plateau, it is a plateau, right? What do we say about the plateau? The plateau, the direction of the plateau is not like it's neutral. There's no such thing as neutral in this trading. So the direction of the plateau just counter the last inclination. The last inclination just close to that was to the upside, right? So this plateau is then the direction is to the downside. So we have a downtrend for this plateau. We have a downtrend for this plateau. So this is the downtrend for this plateau, right? That's this downtrend that is happening now, like this. That's what you are seeing. Easy. So that's how you identify the actual trend. The actual trend I set the mouth of the cloud out of the cloud. So since I had a plateau, I had to find a direction. Same thing here. What is the mouth of the cloud? What is the actual trend? The mouth of the cloud, which it is a plateau, right? This one is a plateau, right? So the last inclination was which side? To the upside, right? So to find the direction of this plateau is to the downside. That's what is happening just right here. So you have the cloud mouth that can be an inclination, and the other one that can be just the mouth can be a plateau or an inclination. When it is already an inclination like this, it is easy to say okay. Yeah. When it's already an inclination like when it's already an inclination, when the mouth of the cloud is already an inclination like this one, it's easy to see that we are the actual trend is to the upside, right? So you also need to prepare that when the mouth of the cloud is plateau like that, you can say that if this one were going to the upside, since it's the last inclination, the plateau means that it's going to the direction is going to the downside. So that's all. That's all. Let me show you then the procedure how to do that all of this. So duplicate this Google sheet if you want, and then pick a pair. You just do the break of roof, plot it in the graph, and determine the trend. And then do also the break of plateau, the change of plateau, and look at where there is the confirmation of the trend happen. The most important thing is that you need to identify the confirmation of the trend. Very important. And you need to also identify the change of plateau. Very, very important. So after that, you need to look at pick SSB for long between to read the trend of the market, read the long trend, the long-term trend. Pick SSB, right? For direction bias, pick SSB. It has more weight. That's how investors read the market. And then the deep trend SSB, the deep trend SSB is just what I said, the last inclination, all right? This is the last inclination, this is the deep trend. So you need to identify it too and tell what is the deep trend. Like you need to circle and tell what is the deep trend because you do screenshot of each one of these one. And then the actual trend using SSB. It's actual trend SSB. Let me just write it this way. SSB. Okay. The actual trend SSB, you need to look at the plateau or the inclination, right? When there is a plateau, you just look at the last inclination, right? That's the same thing. So why is this saying tilt here? Why is it mean of tilt? Tilt means inclination. Why did I say inclination? Okay. Anyway, as you know. So then you do the screenshot of the BOR, BOP, COP, For choosing the trend, I advise you to choose SSB for the trend to find out the values. Then do a screenshot for the Jeep trend, the actual trend. When you do all of these screenshots, you can send it in the group, and then other students, because it's peer-to-peer learning, other students will tell will, will comment on your work, and you can comment on other student work too, and just stay positive. No judgment. Just we stay positive and we learn together, right? So with that said, see you.